We are launching an immediate investigative look into a vocal transformation that has completely divided the music community and ignited massive speculation across digital forums worldwide. 7 years ago, an unprecedented talent stunned the world when a child walked onto a global stage completely barefoot and delivered a bluesy, heavy vocal performance that seemed far too mature for her age. Jordan instantly became a viral sensation, captured the attention of major Hollywood executives, and earned praise from some of the harshest critics in entertainment history. But if you take a close look at her recent broadcasted performances and acoustic sessions, a highly noticeable difference becomes completely undeniable. The deep, smoky, almost haunting rasp that defined her childhood signature style has a massive radical transformation. While casual listeners might simply dismiss this as a standard consequence of growing older, industry insiders and vocal analysts are raising serious questions about what really happened behind closed doors. Rumors suggest that this stark acoustic evolution wasn't just a natural biological shift, but rather the visible result of a grueling high-stakes battle for creative control against powerful corporate entities. Tonight, we are breaking down the timeline, analyzing the technical evidence, and uncovering the real story behind why one of the world's most unique voices sounds completely different today. Our investigation begins at the literal starting point of her career, where a grueling public spotlight may have placed an unsustainable physical demand on a developing child. When Jordan won Nora's Got Talent at the age of 7, she was instantly thrust into a high-pressure media environment that few adults could ever navigate successfully. Media outlets worldwide immediately labeled her the modern reincarnation of legendary jazz icons like Billie Holiday and Washington. This intense branding meant that from a very young age, she was under immense pressure to consistently reproduce heavy, dark, and smoky vocal textures during live television broadcasts. However, prominent vocal coaches and pediatric ear, nose, and throat specialists have frequently pointed out that forcing a deep chest resonance at such an early stage of physical development can place an extreme amount of tension on delicate vocal ligaments. Reports claim that behind the scenes, music coordinators frequently encouraged her to lean into this adult-sounding rasp because it drove millions of views and massive television ratings. This has led many fans to look back at old footage with a completely fresh perspective, wondering if her early signature sound was actually the result of a dangerous structural strain. The constant demand to perform at an elite mature level meant she was treating her developing voice like a fully matured instrument, raising serious long-term concerns about potential physical fatigue before she even reached high school. Shocking new details regarding her transition into the mainstream American music market reveal a fierce, hidden conflict over her artistic identity. Following her viral success, the young prodigy caught the attention of major power players in Hollywood, eventually leading to a highly publicized contract with Republic Records. This was a massive corporate machinery known for shaping raw talent into highly polished, chart-topping pop stars. However, investigative reports indicate that creative friction began brewing almost immediately between her management team and label executives. Sources close to the situation claim that the corporate system was highly uncomfortable with her raw, unpolished jazz roots, viewing them as too niche for mainstream radio programming. Rumors suggest that executives actively pressured her to adjust her singing style, pushing her toward a heavily synthesized, compressed vocal delivery designed to match the current pop trends dominating the airwaves. This corporate intervention sparked massive concern among her core fan base, with many speculating that the label was attempting to completely erase her authentic artistic identity in favor of financial gain. Accusations surfaced across internet forums that felt immense pressure to alter the natural delivery of her voice just to fit into a prepackaged pop template, setting the stage for a dramatic breaking point that would alter her career trajectory forever. The tension behind closed doors eventually culminated in a sudden, unexplained disappearance that sent shockwaves through the entire global music community. At the peak of her rising mainstream momentum, Jordan suddenly dropped completely off the grid, vanishing from public appearances, talk shows, and social media platforms for an 18-month period. This prolonged silence left millions of fans demanding immediate answers, as her official channels offered no clear explanation for the abrupt hiatus. During this quiet stretch, online investigative forums exploded with intense speculation and unverified claims regarding her status. Reports surfaced suggesting that she was locked in a brutal, exhausting legal battle over the ownership of her master recordings and the creative direction of her upcoming projects. Other rumors took a more alarming turn, claiming that the extreme pressure to conform to pop standards had resulted in a severe vocal health crisis that forced her into absolute silence to avoid permanent damage. Allegations circulated that major industry executives were actively trying to suppress her output because she flatly refused to cooperate with their commercial demands. While no official lawsuits were made public, the total blackout of information during this critical period made it completely obvious to industry watchdogs that a major independent rebellion was happening entirely away from the cameras. A technical forensic breakdown of her vocal production reveals the precise mechanical changes that have altered her modern acoustic delivery. When finally returned to performing, vocal analysts immediately noticed a complete shift in her technical execution. If you compare her early viral videos to her recent 2026 live sessions, the mechanical differences are incredibly stark. In her youth, she relied heavily on a dark, forced chest voice, lowering her larynx to create an artificial depth that mimicked old-school jazz singers. However, her modern performances, including her recent acoustic covers, showcase a technique that is vastly different. Vocal experts note that she has transitioned into a highly agile head mix, prioritizing a clear, resonant tone over the heavy grit of her past. This change is highly significant because it completely debunks the theory that she simply lost her ability to sing. Rather, it proves she has deliberately adopted a much healthier, anatomically sustainable method of vocal production. By letting go of the forced, heavy lower register strain, she has unlocked a vastly wider vocal range and much smoother transitions between notes. This technical evolution shows a shift away from a highly stylized, manufactured sound toward an authentic acoustic delivery that protects her vocal longevity, even if it sounds completely unfamiliar to casual listeners who expected her to remain frozen in time. Our investigation reveals that her newly discovered vocal clarity is part of a calculated campaign to completely sever ties with mainstream industry standards. After breaking away from the traditional major label system, chose to move forward as a completely independent artist, releasing music under her own terms, such as her work on Secret of Love. This strategic move allowed her to launch what insiders are calling an organic rebellion against the entire modern recording process. In a world where mainstream music relies heavily on auto-tune, heavy pitch correction, and intense studio compression, has made a definitive pivot toward raw, live, and unedited acoustic spaces. By stripping away all digital alteration, she has forced the public to hear the true, unfiltered reality of her natural vocal cords. This deliberate rejection of modern studio polish is exactly why her voice sounds so drastically different on modern platforms compared to her early teen pop releases. For many industry purists, this independent reclamation project is a breath of fresh air, proving that she values authentic human expression far more than a perfectly engineered, radio-friendly track. It represents a complete refusal to allow digital technology or corporate executives to mask the genuine, raw mechanics of her performance, cementing her status as a self-governed artist. Even her most recognizable visual trademark holds a fascinating technical secret that directly influences her real-time vocal power. Throughout her entire journey, one specific element has remained completely constant: her strict rule of performing entirely barefoot on every single stage worldwide. While mainstream media outlets have frequently dismissed this as a simple stylistic gimmick or an endearing childhood habit, physical therapy experts and vocal coaches state there is a profound physiological purpose behind the practice. Performing without footwear allows a vocalist to maintain absolute, direct contact with the ground, which dramatically improves posture and skeletal alignment. This specific alignment stabilizes the pelvic floor and the core muscles, which are the literal foundation for proper diaphragmatic breath support. By utilizing this barefoot protocol, is able to maximize her lung capacity and control her airflow with incredible precision without needing to put unnecessary strain on her upper throat and neck muscles. Our investigative look into this habit reveals that it is not a visual stunt at all, but rather a vital physical tool that allows her to access her most uninhibited vocal power. It is a deliberate method of stripping away the superficial layers of high-fashion entertainment to ensure her physical instrument operates at peak efficiency. Ultimately, the evidence points to a definitive conclusion regarding the true evolution of Jordan's historic voice. Jordan did not lose the rare gift that originally shocked the global community. Instead, our investigation reveals she actively protected it from being entirely consumed by a corporate machine. The visible shift in her vocal tone is not a sign of declining capability, but rather the hard-won arrival of a fully matured, fiercely independent artist who chose physical longevity and artistic integrity over a highly commercialized pop career. She successfully navigated the intense perils of child stardom, survived the immense pressures of major label expectations, and emerged with her authentic talent completely intact. Her changing sound serves as a powerful testament to what happens when an artist refuses to be manufactured by an industry that consistently prioritizes short-term viral trends over genuine long-term artistry. As we conclude this investigative report, Her journey leaves the entire music industry with a deeply profound question. Will the mainstream market ever truly learn to accept uncompromised, raw talent, or will the absolute future of soul music belong entirely to independent rebels who dare to break the corporate mold?